their land were displaced by the National Forest Authority. You've been executed. What could be the problem, Your Excellency? And we hear allegations.
Told me about that. I will check and they will have to answer. Because that land is not in Congo, it is not in South Sudan, it is here.
Yes, sir.
So we shall check. We shall check. Shall check. And if we find it is true, then they will be answerable. And the people should get their land. But what I was told was that the delay initially was because Forest Authority was saying, give us, when we take forest land, we normally compensate, give them equal land somewhere else. That's the practice. So initially the delay was, yes, you have degazetted our land, give us equivalent somewhere else. And my people did not have the equivalent somewhere else. But now they have added on the issue of this corruption. So we are going to sort it out. Prime Minister was here, she told me about it. We are going to find it out.
Okay.
Excellency, my name is Davada Yusuf. I work with BUSOGA sub-region is one of the regions whereby rice growing. There is a directive that you need these people to vote of those people who have been using the wet to earn a living, what will be next for them per your plan. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Mzee Ibrahim.
Rebecca is the one who is there. Answer that question by checking the facts. When will the people of standard gauge who are not compensated, when will they be compensated? You take the real to wrong.
Third question. Pata bahati, naomba unipe nafasi tumalize. Your question. Uganda wameanza utambulire ku toli kujibona mu buzibu bona mambo yangu. Asante sana.
No, I will have to answer in English. English is better.
Your Excellency, ba political opponents bo mbochikola kigenderere okusobola okubanga BUSOGA oginweza nga okuva mu districts nga bali kusaba oba bali kobera ebizibu bya BUSOGA mu memorandum ze neyanziza so
that I am responsible for the poverty in BUSOGA will go to Guyana. So I'm not worried about them at all, because they are liars. Our message is not only to BUSOGA. Our message, as I've been saying in my speeches, the work of mobilization and socio-economic transformation started in the 1960s. And we started mainly in the west and central, in the cattle corridor, where we taught people what I've been telling people here. Obugaiga, okukole by'obugaiga with the kibaro. Those people in the cattle corridor eventually listened to us and they changed. So when we came into the government, we had the same burden. How to get the families into wealth, all families. And we recommended what to do for the whole for the whole country, not to just Busoga. In the 1996 manifesto, some people responded, others did not respond. And we have been changing programs. NADS, Operation Wealth Creation. Now we are with PDM. So, those who listen, move. And some in Busoga here have moved. Therefore, the question of saying that Busoga, it is because they would have got people in Masaka are now much better off because of coffee. Because coffee is one of the enterprises I had recommended in 1996. Kalangala, they are doing very well. Palm oil, although that's a new one. But when it came, we supported it. In Bundubujo, they are doing very well with cocoa, palm oil, even coffee. In Kalanga, they are doing well with palm oil. In the cattle corridor, they are doing well with dairy, with milk. Therefore, in the case of Busoga, it is a question of they are part of Uganda, who I've been talking to them all this time, and all other Ugandans. It is for them to concentrate on this obulezi, which we identified. But to say that I'm the one who's keeping them, these are just the cheap lies which are told by enemies of Africa, actually. They're the ones who can talk like that. Okay?
We shall be crossing over to Kisoro, to the Kigezi sub-region. Bwana Calvin, the regional vice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and reception we got with our candidate, and for mobilizing people in the big numbers, and for giving us good memorandums in all the districts. Okay. The issues that were raised in the memorandums, some were captured in our manifesto, which manifesto shall be brought to the parishes as we continue deepening the discussions in the plans we intend to have in the next administration. That is all I can say for now. We just thank everybody, and we pray that the President's messages should be taken down to the persons who did not come to the rallies, because these are messages of transformation. Like we said in the rallies, the President is not campaigning, because someone to campaign would be someone who is not known, his policies are not known. But for our candidate and our party, we have been around for some time, and Ugandans have benefited a lot from the generosity and the depth of knowledge of our President. So he has been teaching Ugandans, as always he has done, to enlighten us a little more deeper into areas of wealth creation and the areas of prosperity, development, and so many areas that he has been touching on. And we pray that these lessons should be amplified during our parish meetings with the various leaders that shall be at the parish level. So thank you so much, and I now would like to invite our regional vice chairman to come and give a vote of thanks and say bye to the region officially.
Uganda, we so much are grateful for the message teaching us about the 7 matafales that you and the NRM contributed to the building of the Uganda society. We also thank you for interacting with the media, which has been very helpful in circulating the message, even though some of it has been misunderstood that Uganda wants part of the Indian Ocean. but thank you for the clarification that we mean political and economic federation. Your Excellency, I also want to thank the NRM Secretariat, especially the Secretary General, who worked with us in Eastern Region. His team was very cordial and very helpful, and I think we had no issues, and we are grateful to his team. I also want to thank the chairpersons of the districts. I think they worked well with you and they mobilized, they rallied people behind you. Want to thank the leaders, political leaders in the Eastern region, especially BUSOGA, for their support. Your Excellency, Eastern region is rallying around you, and I think we are going to get good results. Allow me to pass a mic to the right.
They have destroyed which is nearby. Now they want to go and buy from certain miles away. How will you manage the cost? So really that is the issue. The issue is not okubaja muntowazi. The issue is enkozesa yentowazi.
Thank you, Excellency. Mr. Othieno.
Of the standard gauge railway, and compensation was done, but not 100%.
In the public rallies. So that is TOFAL number 4. TOFAL number 5, which I don't normally get time to talk about in the rallies, is service delivery. Obueleza. Obueleza can be many types of obueleza. Security service. That's it. If I provide security, that's it. I have rendered a service. Entertainment is a service. Education is a service. Health is a service. Governance is a service. Judicial justice is a service. So you people, you the citizens, you can audit one by one, and you see how the service, element by element, has been extended to the Ugandans. If, for instance, I look at the health service, immunization has gone very well. That's why there's no more polio, no more measles. So that one is really like 100%. But the curative side, the treatment, now some issues. The issues of stealing of drugs and so on. For treatment, for vaccines, no problem. But for treatment, there is some issue. So you can go item by item and you judge what the NRM has done. Like in the health, I told you, part of it is excellent, part of it has some issues. Then you come to freedom of speech. Oh, that one is 100%, because they abuse everybody. So that is that's service is Tafari number 5, because NRM has extended so many services to the population of Uganda: freedom of speech, security, education, health. All these have been much more than in the past. So that is the 5th one. The 6th one is economic integration of East Africa. Because the danger you Africans are in is failing to know who will buy your products if you produce on a big scale. But you don't hear people talking about that. They're talking about other small things: power, elections. But if the country settles down, like Uganda, and starts producing on a big scale, who buys all these products? We already have a surplus of maize, a surplus of milk, a surplus of cement, a surplus of sodas, surplus of soaps. So the issue of the market is very crucial. And NRM took the lead when we came from the bush, engaged with Museveni, Museveni of Tanzania. That's how we brought back the East African community. And you can check how much it is helping us in terms of taking our products. Suppose it was not there, what would we do? You should assess that. So that is number 6. Number 7, if we do economic integration, it will deal with the economy. It will create a market for our products. But how about the defense? How can Africa defend itself? As we talk, some of the people in the world are on the moon. They are going to the moon. For us, we are here. Those people on the moon are looking at us like insects. Like you see these ants which eat sugar. You see them, they don't see you. You can bring doom anytime and you spray them. Now, it's very dangerous for Africa to be in that position. But the way we are now, we are so fragmented. Can Uganda alone have a space program? Or how can Uganda have a navy? Because we don't even have a sea. And our people who are near the ocean, the burden may be too much for them. So that's why we say, if we want to defend ourselves, economic integration is for prosperity. To create a market that buys our products on a big scale and we get rich. But that does not solve the problem of security. You can be rich but vulnerable. So that's why we say no, we need to go beyond economic integration and go for political integration. The formation of the East African Federation. The Federation of East Africa would bring together our countries here and would be a very strong force, even militarily. It will create a center of gravity for the black race. You can have small countries in the world but they normally have a center of gravity. There are smaller countries in Europe like Denmark, but they have the United States. So when they're in trouble, the United States is the one which rescues them. Who can rescue Africa now? Who can? The other time Libya was attacked by foreigners, and we were just here looking. So therefore, in order to guarantee our future, we need to look at the issue of the political integration of West Africa. We are always talking with the Kenyans, with the Tanzanians, with Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Somalia, Congo. But all of you, the young people, should engage in discussing this with all the other East Africans. So these are the 7 matofali.
Okay, Your Excellency, another question.
Minister of Kenya was here last night. Minister Mudavadi was here, and we discussed. And what I was saying in Mbale is what I have said here today. The amatoforo musanvu NLM getade ku Uganda. The 6th tafari is economic integration for prosperity. And how can I be hostile when I'm promoting economic integration to Kenya? The 7th tafari, the one of political federation, but when we integrate economically, we answer the question of prosperity. Ugandans produce products, Kenyans buy them. Kenyans produce products, Ugandans buy them. And in so doing, we support our prosperity. Economic integration answers the issue of prosperity. But the issue of strategic security, this is where I talked about the Indian Ocean. Even if we are together in this African community, we don't plan defense together. You find Kenya has got their own defense, Uganda has, Tanzania has. And I think you were here when I was telling people that some people are on the moon now. The Americans are on the moon, the Chinese are on the moon, the Russians are there. Now the Indians have gone to the moon. The ones here are ourselves. Those people on the moon, they are looking at us like insects. Like you see, you look at these vidudu which eat sugar. You look at them, you can spray them anytime. So what I was talking about was some of the countries in the world, they have a plan to dominate, to be superior in land forces, be superior in the air force, be superior in the navy. That's why I talked about the Indian Ocean. And be superior in space, in satellites. So I was saying, when those people get that strength, where does it leave us? How can Africa, how can Uganda build a navy? Because we don't even have access to the ocean. That's when I was talking about the Indian Ocean. And the countries near the shores, they are there, but maybe they may not have capacity, financial. So that's why I was talking of political federation. so that we maximize our potential. That's what I was talking about. Now about the independence should not, even if they are disgruntled, they should listen to our advice. Our advice was, mukayanira bwerere, ekintu kino kyangu okulondora, because the kamyufu happened during the day and by lining up. So these people counted your agents, but even the whole population, they would see who won. Now, for somebody to go and change that, it's very, very shallow, because the witnesses are too many. Unless your agents are the ones who abandon you and tell lies. But otherwise, it is easy to know what happened. So that's why I said, instead of, first of all, if you stand in a constituency where there is opposition, that's really blind, that's betrayal. It was like the other women who are fighting for a child in the Bible. And Solomon said, okay, let's solve it. Bring the knife. Let's cut into two, so that you get equal portion. The one who is not the mother says, yes, that's a good solution. The real mother said, please, wakira umwana mtwale. Instead of killing the child, you take him. Solomon said, this is the real mother now. So, if there is opposition candidate there and you stand to split our vote, that's betrayal. But secondly, even if it is only our people, still you disturb the population. You put them under pressure. Sometimes you divide them to be loyal to you or to the other person. So that's why our advice was, if you can bring evidence quickly, the tribunal can help you to cancel the results and do the needful. But even if you don't get the facts quickly, altering results is a criminal offense. It's not just a civil case of election directly, it is also criminal. So if you can get evidence, this person can even go to jail. If the evidence is very, very clear. And it doesn't matter whether the time has passed, whether he's now elected as a member of parliament, he will be held accountable. So you get the facts properly, instead of now competing and so on. Because if you do that, we get the facts, like in the case of Namutumba, we got facts and we sorted it out. The real chairman was of NRM was declared when they had declared another one. So therefore, my advice to the independents is, don't donate those constituencies to the opposition. But secondly, even when you are all NRM, mutawanya bantu baffe, you disturb our people. And thirdly, the real answer is to do patient research, get facts. Even this person can even be handled criminally. Can go to jail, including losing position. Okay.
We want to thank you so much for a week of action. And of course, the economic irrigation, since we started in WEELI, there has been a lot of activities that has kept our people excited. And I just want to pray that the important issues that have been raised can be fully captured and fully implemented in the manifesto, because that has been our commitment to the population that we are going to deliver. From our side, Your Excellency, as we have been discussing, we shall deliver. So thank you so much. We wish you well in the next region, and we shall meet after the 15th. Of course, you are free to come back for a day or two before the elections if you wish, but for now, we want to wish you good speed, and thank you so much for coming to BUSOGA. And I thank the team.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, the journalist from BUSOGA asking for a group photo. If you're many, you can take in 2 groups. Organize yourselves very fast.
To have a complete picture, I will mention all the 7. Because there may be others who may not have heard me talk about the 4. I call these a matafari NRM has put on the House of Uganda. The contribution by NRM to Uganda and even to Africa. The first tafari is peace and security. And this one comes from our ideology, our thinking, where we don't look at tribes, we don't look at religious groups, we don't look at whether you are a man or a woman. What we care about is what you do. Now that one has enabled us to unite people politically, majority of them, and also to build strong national institutions such as the army, the police, the judiciary, and these are the ones which have helped us to have peace together with the population. Now the second tofadi is development. And I've been telling people that the development has 2 parts. There is the economic infrastructure, such as the roads, the power, the telephones, water, the railway. Those are economic infrastructure. Then you have on the other side social infrastructure, schools, health centers. The 2 of these constitute enkulakulana, development. And in a message which I'm sending to the villages, I'm giving some details of all this. The roads, how many kilometers have we done? The schools, the health centers. This is the second tofadi, the one of enkulakulana. The third one is the one of fighting poverty. And not confusing poverty with, not confusing development with the fight against poverty. Because you can have development, but you don't have wealth. People in Kampala, there's a lot of development, but there are poor people there. These ghetto are found in the towns. So that's why we separate wealth and make it separate and say every home must get wealth. And then, so that is the third tafari, so to show you Ugandans where jobs come from, because it's a big confusion. You find some people think that jobs should come from the government. Wakarani, just clerical work. Jobs, in my view, jobs should come from wealth, mainly from wealth creation. Agriculture, manufacturing. I have been here for the last, I don't know how long, my clan. So we always use the wetlands. We use the wetlands. The question is, how do you use them? In the past, like in Tungamo there, we would use the wetlands to get materials for roofing. Those of Togo could be used for roofing houses, for making mats, then we would use the grass for mulching, ebigugu. There are grasses called ebigugu for mulching the gardens and thatching the houses. Then the Bakochi, one of the tribes of Uganda, would do fish and sonzi. And sonzi is mud fish from the swamps. So nobody says that people should not use wetlands. The question is how. Now, when we have enough time, we are not going to use violence to evict people. But when we have enough time, we shall discuss. We already have facts which we can discuss. Because now the rice growing is underutilizing the wetland and utilizing, because when you grow rice there, you dry the swamp. Swamp is dry. And yet we need water for irrigation. We need water for irrigation on the Rukaru around. When I drive, there's when I came for a religious function. I think it was in Kariro. Some few months ago, there was a religious function somewhere. And I took the trouble to try and measure where I landed. I think it was like 4 or 5 kilometers driving up to a wetland. A wetland was like 200 meters across. So you had 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 7 kilometers of Olukalu, dry land. And like 200 meters across of swamp. That area, it was a church of, I don't know who, somewhere, a few months ago. Here in BUSOGA. Yes, that
Saint Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Saint Gonzaga.
Yes. I remember now. So you can go and check the area there. Because the Olukalu land is more, much more than the wetlands. And the Olukalu is not irrigated. There's no irrigation. Why? Well, first of all, maybe people have not bothered. But even if they bother, they need water now. Suppose our people now decide to irrigate. Amadi banaga torawa. Amada galiokumpi have been dried up. So that's why we are saying that you are misusing and underusing. So recently when I was in Bukedi, who are the experts in rice growing, I asked the people there in Doho's rice scheme. I said, how much do you get per acre? The man said they get about 7 million shillings. Once they do everything, they get about 7 million shillings an acre. Then they deduct 2 million, they remain with about 5. Now, when I do fish farming, like I've shown you on my screens, my people are getting a lot of money, much more money than that. The one I showed you gets 140 million net from fish farming in 1 acre. While for rice, we are getting about 5 million. So, therefore, it's not a question of movibadi, no. It is a question of how do you use the vivadi more profitably, because fish farming would make much more money, but also bring back the water to irrigate the Olukalu and get much more yield than now. So kati chetuliko tusera ebibali ate ne tusera n'olukalu. We are underutilizing both. So it's not a question of those people who say, I want you to move out of the wetlands. They don't know that I'm indigenous from here. Zinduwa wano nansangwawo. Oba abalala baavaawa naye nze nduwa wano. Byona bivi. It is a question of using the wetlands in the best way, economically and environmentally. Of course, there is also the environmental side. When I've been campaigning, I was actually getting worried when I was in the north. There's much more rain there. I don't know whether this meteorology can give us a figure, but when the rain comes in the north, it's very strong. In Acholi, in the West Nile, like here in the south, it used to be like that. But these days, the rain comes, just like that, not very strong rain. And I suspect it could be because in the north, they are getting very strong rains because of the swamps in South Sudan and the forests in Congo. Now here, the rain is not so strong. So there's that side of the environment. But even without the environment, even the economics alone, we need to use the wetlands in a different way. Rice can be grown, like the one of Doho is actually being grown well because it's not grown in the wetlands. They get water from River Manafa and divert it. It's irrigation which is good. So good. The issue is drying the wetlands, so that and by so doing you get little money. You disturb the environment, but you deny also the Rukaru, the water for irrigation. And even the mulching. There is a grass here, scientific name is Cyperus latifolia, ebigugu. These were the ones we cut for mulching.
Ebitogo.
Ebitogo is the bigger, but there's shorter grass which you cut and you mulch the garden. Because of this environmental degradation, when I was in Ushenyi, I was supporting some farmers, and then they said, "Oh, you need to give us money to buy a pickup." I said, "A pickup for what?" "Oh, we needed to go and buy a gugu from 30 miles away." Now imagine.